גדול בשבילנו שנמצא איתנו הרב ברמן, מנכ"ל OU ישראל, ואני מבקש שיבוא לתת דברי התעוררות. I was asked to speak in English, so I apologize for those that were preferring Hebrew, the B'nai Mishpacha that understand Hebrew. When I was sitting and trying to figure out what tone I should be speaking in tonight, should I be smiling? Should I be more serious? It's not every day, and probably not even once a year, that I'm asked to speak in Nazkara that's not for an immediate family member. And I closed my eyes, and I looked at Rabbi Gold. I said, Rabbi Gold, should I be smiling tonight, or should I have a serious tone? He looked at me and he said, Berman, put that smile on. So here my smile's on, and with that smile, I'm looking at that seat right there, seeing my Zaidi Olav Sholom, sitting in that seat every single davening, looking at Rabbi Gold sitting right over here. And I had the schus of walking Zaidi home after davening, and I know many of the people here in the room remember my Zaidi and Bobby. And one day, 33 years ago, I was 14 years old, I look at Zaidi, I said, Zaidi, I have a question for Rabbi Gold. Could you just wait here for a minute until I ask Rabbi Gold a question, then I'll walk you home. And he says, sure. I walk over to Rabbi Gold, and I remember it was the Shabbos after Pesach. And I said, Rabbi Gold, I want to start learning how to play guitar. Am I allowed to learn how to play guitar during the Sefira? He looks at me, he's like, Boychikel, you got a lot of hard work ahead of you. You're not going to enjoy it at all. You could do it during Sefira. It was so hard I gave up. Then I remember sitting next to Zaidi as a soldier, and once again I had a question for Rabbi Gold, and then I went from being a boychikel to being a chayal. It wasn't Berman, it wasn't boychikel, it was chayal, to which Rabbi Gold stood up and said, I have to stand up for a chayal. And once again answered my questions with a deep understanding of where I was coming from, and a deep understanding of the family I'm coming from, and with a sensitivity that a person that is connected to your neshama feels and knows. And then one day, I went from being a boychikel and a soldier. When Rabbi Gold walks into my office one day, this is about a week and a half after I started as the executive director of the OU in Israel. And Rabbi Gold walks into my office right after he gives shir. Now I made an issue to walk downstairs and look into the classroom that was packed, absolutely packed, of people coming to listen to Rabbi Gold. Rabbi Gold comes upstairs, sits down in my office, and he always had this thing that he did right after he finished the shir. He didn't sit down. He plopped himself down in a way that I just finished every drop of energy that I had in my body, in my entire being, in order to give over that shir. And many would come and say that Rabbi Gold was a great actor. And I think in many things, you might say he overreacted about some things. But when it came to giving over Torah, there was no overreacting. Rabbi Gold didn't have, and I've looked at many videos since, he didn't have a split second throughout the shir that he wasn't on fire. And he walks into my office, he plops himself down, he looks at me and he says, "Berman, you're my boss." And I said, "Rabbi, nobody can be your boss, not even Balaam." He said, "You're right about that." He then came over to me and asked me if I would please write a few words for his book, for his sefer. It's probably one of the most humbling moments in my life. I told him, "Rabbi, big rabbis go over to Rav Moshe Feinstein, Rav Shlomo Zalman, Rav Elyashiv, Rav Mordechai Eliyahu, and ask for haskama for a sefer. The fact that you're coming over to me, I'm not exactly sure what you're doing." So he tells me, "Avi, it's good for marketing." We're just a few weeks away from Rosh Hashanah. This is going to be the first Rosh Hashanah and first Yom Kippur that I'm not going to have my annual chavrusa with Rav Gold. Preparing my drasha in shul every shana for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I used to sit next to the table, call Rabbi Gold, and together go over many ideas in the machzor until in the parsha, what we're going to learn, until he made sure I had the perfect idea to give over Rosh Hashanah morning and Kol Nidrei night. I, Baruch Hashem, have a relationship with many Rabbanim around the world. But the thought of calling anybody else to be able to relate, to be able to give over in the most passionate way Torah on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur was not shaykh. It was Torah that had the lave for each and every yid and had the passion for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is what I wanted to give over. And every year Rabbi Gold delivered in the most beautiful way through me. I hope I'll do a good job this year without him. Once a year, sometimes once every other year, Rabbi Gold would walk into my office and said, "Berman, I'm done." I said, what do you mean you're done, Rabbi Gold? He's like, "I have so many svarim to write. I've got so much to write about. I've got so many things to do. I've got so many things to record. The shir takes all my koyach." I said, "Rabbi Gold, what about this year? It's being recorded. It's going to be there forever." I said, "Rabbi Berman, I need my time to write. I need my time." And every year, I noticed that was the one place he came without Rebbetzin Balaam. Did you ever notice? He came into my office every year, Yemi, and asked to stop teaching, but never ever came in with Balaam, Every other time he came to my office, Rebbetzin Bela was there. So I used to answer him. I said, if you bring me a heter from a Gadol and from Bela that you can stop teaching, then we can talk. Until then, you have to continue. And until Yermi called me and said, Avi, he really can't do it anymore. I was persistent that he had to continue. Baruch Hashem, we asked Rabbi Gold to come back this past Tu B'Shvat to please speak at an event that we had in Psagot. And once again, we saw him on fire. But the fire came because I think it was the first time he got to see the new Yekiv in Psagot. And he saw Binyan Eretz Yisrael. He saw the grapes of Eretz Yisrael. He saw the Nevuot. And that same thing that he told everybody, that when you want to talk to God, go to the Kotel. When you want to see God, go to the Shuk and look at the Perot of Eretz Yisrael. Just like the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, Tzaditet tells us. When you want to know Mashiach is about to come, look at the fruit trees of Eretz Yisrael. And when they're blossoming, you know Mashiach is about to come. Rabbi Gold was a man of vidui. We're all going to be saying vidui in the next few weeks. But Rabbi Gold took the vidui from this week's Parsha. And that was the vidui that Rabbi Gold kept on saying again and again and again. And I'm going to say it together with you because this is what Rabbi Gold was all about. ואמרת לפני אדוני אלוהיך ביארתי הקודש מן הבית וגם נתתיו ללוי ולגר ליתום ולאלמנה ככל מצוותך אשר ציוויתני לא עברתי ממצוותיך ולא שכחתי לא אכלתי בעוני ממנו ולא ביארתי ממנו לטמא ולא נתתי ממנו למת שמעתי בקול אדוני אלוהי עשיתי ככל אשר ציוויתני השקיף אמון קודשך מן השמיים וברך את עמך את ישראל ואת האדמה שנתת לנו כאשר נשבעת לאבותינו ארץ זבת חלב ודבש. Rabbi Gold, many people looked at Eretz Yisrael and kept on seeing blemishes. Rabbi Gold couldn't comprehend the fact that somebody would see a blemish about Eretz Yisrael. He couldn't comprehend the concept that people would look around and not see the miracles of Kibbutz Galuyot and the miracles of building the highways and the miracles of building the schools and the yeshivas and the hospitals and everything here in Eretz Yisrael. He couldn't comprehend the fact that people wouldn't open their eyes. Rav Tzvi Kohen Cook used to say on the pasuk Ayin b'ayin yiru b'shuv Hashem Tzion, that what we have to do is take the eye, the physical eye that we have, and connect it to the eye of the Ribono Shel Olam. And through that see B'shuv Hashem Tzion. Rabbi Gold and Rebbetzin Gold did that every single second of their lives. And they were in shock when they saw that people weren't doing it themselves. Yiratzon should be able to continue having that eye and seeing incredible things about Am Yisrael, Eretz Yisrael, and Torat Yisrael.